Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. I'm glad you're all here. I want to take a quick second and say thank you to the channel members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to anyone who comes in to check out the knife, the EDC content. I really appreciate it. If you're so inclined and you hadn't had a chance yet, if you'd hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, it would really help me out. So today we're going to have kind of a little subjective knife battle looking at two Superlock knives, the Tactile knife company, Chupacabra, and the WE Vision R by Snex. Both use the Superlock. Both are similarly sized knives, but both are very different, and we're going to talk about it. And the way we did this, I've changed it up a little bit. So we typically have several points that we compare these on. We look at the materials, we look at the fit and finish, we award a point to who comes out best. Ergonomics, value, carrying ease, deployment, i.e. detent, lockup, i.e. strength, availability, how hard are they to get, aesthetics, how does it look, slicerificness, how does it slice, and durability, how's the build, right? And then we total up our points and see what we're looking at. So starting off, we've got the WE Vision R. I found it today for 269 bucks. It is OEM'd and made by WE over in China. Has a 20 CV blade, titanium handle, Superlock, and it's $269. And in the other corner, we have the Tactile knife company, Chupacabra. It is a USA-made knife for $249. If you get a titanium lynch clip, it adds 20 bucks, but these are both standard configurations. This is in aluminum with steel liners and a MagnaCut blade. So you've got about a $20 price swing, or if you add the titanium clip, you're looking at about the same price. The WE is OEM'd, made in China. The Tactile is made here in the States. So materials. This is one I've kind of been struggling with. When you look at materials, I look at the combination of the materials that we have. And when I look at a knife, I'm looking at the most important thing is its cutting ability, right? So blade is, to me, half the materials, and the body's the other half. And the blade, to me, is a little bit more important. On the WE Vision R, we've got this wonderfully designed reverse tanto blade in 20 CV, super slicey. You've got titanium handles with weight relief holes cut through them. You've got a titanium relief bar. That's how you release the Superlock. So you've got a really nice package. And then here with the Tactile turn, you've got, in my opinion, a little bit beefier package. You've got a wider package. You've got a little bit heavier package. You've got a thicker blade. And you've got a MagnaCut blade. So what I'm wrestling with here is I've got aluminum, stainless steel, and MagnaCut at 64-65 versus titanium and 20 CV. If this was titanium, it'd be a no-brainer, right? If this was aluminum, it'd be a no-brainer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw. I would give that point to Tactile, but to try to keep it as fair as possible, because I know the cost of the steel is not going to be that much difference, but I'm just talking about the way I like the knife. Yeah, I would have given it to Tactile, but I'm going to give that one a draw. So fit and finish. How well does the knife center up? How well Do the pins line up? How well does everything go together? I have taken this knife apart, put skiffs in it. It is an absolute joy. The tactile turn, Chupacabra, perfectly centered, no blade play whatsoever, no gaps between the aluminum scales and the steel liners. It's done very, very well. Contouring all the way around on both. You do have the blade holes in the Wii, and you've got the little lock window here that allows you to see how that lock disengages and how it locks up right there. Kind of a neat feature. Great sharpening tools on both of them, but fit and finish. Guys, just because it's a little bit beefier, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I see no seams. For some reason, I'm thinking the Tactile has better fit and finish. They're both perfectly centered. The Tactile just seems to take that one. So I'm going to give a point to the Tactile there, and then we're going to look at ergonomics. And this is one area that I know the Wii is going to take. They both feel great in the hand. The only thing that I notice about this knife is this lower side here where it's chamfered comes to the steel liner. You can feel that in your hand pretty aggressively. You can also feel that lock and the clip, the way that clip turns out, you can feel it in your hand. Again, you can see the red there, but it fits the hand great. This knife, I've been using it for a couple of weeks straight. Fantastic ergos in terms of how it fits the hand. But when you hold it next to this knife, you do not feel those things. This clip, which got a lot of grief when it first came out, I think is genius in the way it carries, also in the way it does not print the hand. These scales are titanium, solid, they're milled, they're chamfered, they're comfortable. I have to give ergonomics to the Wii. And that brings us to value. Now to me, this is a no-brainer. So I've got titanium 20 CV, I've got aluminum MagnaCut. I've got USA manufacturing, China manufacturing. I've got $20 less than $269. I would rather have this knife because it's a USA made knife. I think the resale value is going to be better. And I think the Tactile Knife Company, Superlock, Chupacabra is a better value per dollar at $249 than the Wii Vision R, which is a wonderful knife, is at $269. If they were both $269, if this had the Lynch clip on it, I would still think this is a better value. Carrying ease. This clip is a little stiff. It will sometimes, and I'll try to get it to do it now, carries deep. It's a deep carry clip. It will pull string out of my pocket from time to time, but it carries well when it's in the pocket. The Wii Vision R, it just clips in the back of your pocket. Totally different than a regular knife, and it pulls right out. This knife, to me, carries narrower, easier in and out of the pocket. This is not difficult by any means, but if you're comparing side by side, shootout so to speak, the Wii Vision R carries better than the Tactile Chupacabra. Deployment. Now, I thought about bringing the Wii Vision FG here that I think improves on the deployment because it has thumb studs. However, that wouldn't be fair because it's also G10 or micarta, Nitro V. I think it might be a better representation, but I wanted to compare two knives that are the same value, and that's why we're looking at the Wii Vision R. So this knife deploys very well. Very easy to deploy. You've got a thumb hole, you've got a reverse finger flick, or you just got the Superlock, right? And then the Chupacabra does what the Vision FG Civivi does so well, is it gives you thumb studs as opposed to that blade hole, which without a doubt makes for a much snappier knife. They both are on ball bearings. They both deploy very well. You just have to work more for the hole. So for ease of deployment, for me, I think there's no question that the Tactile and its use of the Superlock has improved over the Wii's and its use of the Superlock. So on that deployment, I'm going to give it to the Tactile Knife Company, which brings us to lockup and strength. Now, these knives lock up just about the same way. When I pull this shark or this Superlock out, which the Wii one allows you to pull it all the way out, you'll notice that the spring is putting tension on at the back of the knife, pushing this whole aluminum or titanium bar forward. So you pull it back to release it. If I pull it back, I can just flip it out. Pull it back and flip it closed, right? This one here uses the same concept where you've got your spring back here. The lock does not come up and out. It just simply pulls back. You can pull up on it a little bit, but this knife is thicker. You've got much less area between the blade, the stop pin, and the lock. I've spine whacked both of these. That's not going to tell us the difference. When I look up at lockup and strength, I'm looking at a thicker knife here. I'm looking at what feels like a much stiffer spring in the Tactile. I've got absolutely no play in either of them. One of the beauties of the Superlock. But this Superlock is a lot thinner than this Superlock. So, I'm going to have to use a gut decision and think that the lockup strength is going to match with the knife strength and durability, which goes to the Tactile turn. So that's another point for the Tactile turn. Availability. So, I found a raw titanium Wii today. I know there are a couple of other colors available. I know there are, right now, many of these available. But these are only right now in black with either a satin blade or a stone wash like I have. And then the only option is the standard clip or the Lynch Northwest clip. With the Wii Vision R, you can get blue, you can get the black, you can get the raw. There are a lot of different colors, but availability, I look at that as a seasonal availability. And I know once the Vision Rs came out, they pretty much stayed in stock. Tactile Turn has been doing a great job with the Chupacabra. It's a newer knife, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them neither a point or a tie on availability. They're both here. Aesthetics. This is very subjective, guys. Which knife looks the better? I'm at a disadvantage, or I have a biased opinion. As you know, on my Adamas, I changed out the scales to the Advanced Weapons Tech scales, so they'd be solid, because I do not like speed holes. I love the action of this knife. I even love the look of the blade. I thought it was sexy when I bought it. Think it's sexy today. The speed holes to me are not as sexy as this is, and this sheep's foot blade might not be quite as sexy as that blade, but as a whole, I think this knife is aesthetically more pleasing. A lot of y'all might argue with me because this does have titanium totally blacked out with bronze appointments. I think the Tactile, for me, is aesthetically more pleasing. and the slicerificness. So we cut some with our Vision R. Yeah, they're both super slicey, but when you look at the blade stock, when you look at the thinness and the blade geometry, this one makes a lot more noise going through the paper. And if you can see how those grinds are stepped, this is a much thinner grind. It is going to get the point, and I'll show you why. So the spine thickness on our Chupacabra is 1370. On our Wii, we start out down at 1190. Behind the edge is a screaming 0.0190. Versus a 0.0190, right about the same behind the edge, but you've got a thicker grind. So I think if we're looking at just slicing this, not hard use, not going through wood or feather sticking some, I would rather have this in my hand around a campfire than this. But for slicerificness, I think the Wii's going to win it, which takes us to durability. Durability, guys, to me, it's a no comparison. I mean, let me just get you the different weights. The Tactile is much more solidly held together. You've got 2 body screws, a pivot screw, 2 clip screws. The Wii, you have simply 2 screws, a slab of titanium with holes, a blade, and a locking mechanism and spring. Here, you've got your steel liners that do have some weight relief, but you've got your full super lock on the back here. Really hardy stop pin. You can just look at the difference in diameter of those stop pins. But I'm going to say the durability as well as the weight is going to go well to the Tactile. 4.75, 3.6. So over an ounce heavier. For the same length knife, the Chupacabra is just thicker. I think the MagnaCut, with the heat treat that it's got, is going to be a better performer. I think dropping those knives, you're going to have a lot better chance with this not being damaged. I think bending the blade, if you were doing some hard work on some feather sticking, not that this is by any means this 20 CV is going to bend, but it is much thinner stock. I just think the Chupacabra, made in the USA, with the exception of sliciness, with the exception of ergos, with the exception of how well the Wii carries, is just a great improvement over the first SNEX, or yes, Superlock that I saw. And I think I learned that unlike Spyderco and some of these companies that patent their locks, SNEX never patented the Superlock. He wanted it to be available for knife makers to use it. So I think that's pretty cool. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Tactile. And we've got 1, 2, 3 for the Wii Vision R. We've got 2 that were a draw. So even if the Wii had won both of them, then a tie. So I believe in this knife battle between the Chupacabra, USA made, and the Vision R, China made, take the country out of it, the Chupacabras are winner, guys. Got 2 more points. Very subjective, but I tried to be as objective as possible. Great value at $249, $269 with the Lynch clip. Guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope you found it entertaining, informative, goofy. Let me know. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Come back, watch another video that I put out, maybe tomorrow. And do me a favor, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your hearts. And choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.